Scott, what's the latest on Oahu? What's their feedback? What's the market? What's happening?
Man, we've been cruising along with not too much news for a little while, and then bang, all at one time, like four different things are going on. The biggest, so I'll give you a quick market update just so, because it leads into something else that's really interesting. Single family homes this year on Oahu, the median sales price is 1.15 million now. We are actually up year to date 22% in price from the same time last year, which is, I mean, it's amazing. We're still trucking along. And condos, because there's so little inventory on the single family home side, the condo market is heated up, and the offshore and foreign buyers are starting to come back, and prices are up 14% year to date for condos. And what's crazy, I saw an article where we're 30% more affordable now than we were at the peak in 2006. So they're saying we have more room upward to go. But interest rates just went up from the bottom of where interest rates were during the pandemic. They've gone up 2%. In the last 3 months, they've gone up 1.5%. And what's amazing, if you calculate that to a price component, in the last 3 months, if you move it over to what that would equate in a price appreciation, that's 20% in the last 3 months. So you're up 22% in price from the same time last year, and an effective cost on people's mortgages by 20%. And you're up 28% from the beginning, from the bottom of where interest rates had dropped. So at some point you can't keep on this accelerated path. But what is interesting is when I look at the number of new sales, they're down. I mean, I'm sorry, number of new listings, they're still down. And the pending sales, which are escrows going on right now, are higher than they were last year. So the momentum isn't slowing down yet, but yet we're having this significant appreciation. I mean, common sense would tell you, if you're in a market where conditions are going to lend itself to 20% price appreciation, you would think that if interest rates equated to like a 10% increase, then prices would probably only go up 10%. We're far exceeding that. So the interesting thing is we're in an inflationary time. We're moving in that direction where things are going to cost more, and most people buying a mortgage payment. So I do expect us to decelerate on that price. You can't have both of these going on in the same way and keep the same momentum. But I don't see prices coming down. And even if they did go sideways, what are we talking? Your mortgage payment tomorrow is going to cost more than it would today, right? So if you wait to buy, it's going to cost you more if you're getting a mortgage payment. It's interesting. I'm interested to see what happens with the numbers in the next 2 to 3 months, because we should see some deceleration, not slow down. And I'm hoping to slow down in some of the number of sales, because we're still active inventories at 425, where it's not like it's ballooning up, and the pending sales are far outstripping that. So, man, the market just keeps getting weirder. Then you add on top of it the Red Hill issue, where they're talking about a moratorium on water, potentially new developments, I should say, restriction of water, and potentially a moratorium on new construction and new developments. Okay, don't add any more supply to the market. What's that going to do to prices at that point? And it takes 5 to 7 years to build a new well, which is what they were talking about. So if you don't have new construction for 5 to 7 years, man, it's crazy. I mean, it's nuts to imagine what's coming down.
It's I mean, as you're saying all this, what's kind of going through my mind was that, if if the laws of economics are still in effect, in this universe, which they presumably are, it really means only one thing. It means that, um, well, either there's been a huge increase in the demand, which is possible because you have these, the pandemic opened up a new category of buyer, an out-of-state buyer that can work remotely, and that becomes an in-state buyer that can work remotely. So that is a new category of buyer, hence a new sense of the demand. And it also means that the market was significantly undervalued. It was significantly undervalued, and these price increases, and these nonstop increases, kind of seem to take effect. Crazy. All right, let's go to. Go ahead. Go ahead, Scott.
Well, yeah, think about this. Not only did we add out-of-state buyers, because when people were sitting at home during the pandemic reevaluating their life, they said, where do we want to live? We don't want to live here. We want to go live in Hawaii or somewhere else. But those interest rates that dropped, allowed people to refinance, lower their payments, potentially pull capital and equity out of their property. Now they got to go invest it. So everybody got this huge influx of capital to be able to go invest. And that's what you're partly starting to see.
Yeah, and that's